Hello, hello. You hear as well. Wonderful. Okay, I would like to talk to you. Open up Ukraine. Everybody knows, and that you have several NGOs. You stand for all open things, open data. But a discourse. We would like to have a discourse. How it started, whom you unite, and also how difficult it is to be a coordinator of such a network. In general, it's a very interesting network. It's a community of voluntary community without any institutional structure, I mean organization, legal entity, without any clear obligations or duties of people who are just not indifferent in a sense of openness, open code, open data. And these are the people who have some startups on the base of open data, or they do work on data analysis, or in general in our working in analytical centers or in some business. And we have some people from the government. So there's a community of people who are not indifferent, who care about the issue of data, open data. In 2018, I felt that the community, I knew that this is a big community because I was in this field since 2015, but I saw that this community didn't speak one voice. And I suggested to my friends, let's do something together for us to be able to coordinate and to express and communicate clearly to communicate our ideas more clearly on the issue of open data. And in 2018, we set up our organization, and we decided on priority of data we would like to work with, and which are very important for Ukraine and for anti-corruption work, for development of business. And this is the way we started to work on in different programs. And now we have experience of 2 years, and we understand better where we go and what to work on, like advocacy. So we have advocacy campaign, and we educate on data, how to open data, and how they shouldn't open, what is bad data, what is good quality of openness. When we see that our advocacy or communication with the government doesn't have positive feedback, we are trying through different instruments to speak to the office of the responsible person or the court. We trying to force them to open the data which should be opened by according to the law. We won some cases, and the platform of human rights helps us and with the lawyers, and we bring suits to courts, and we support our cases in the courts. And there was a successful case with the Ministry of Justice, and we understand that we need to educate people on open data. So we communicate, we go to different events, and we train people, we educate people on this issue, and we understand that there should be some amendments to the legislation on open data, because according legislators and public servants, they don't have a clear idea about open data. So that's why we work in many working groups and amendments to legislation or writing new legislation on open data. And we are within the group of in the parliament on access to public information, and also initiated the working group by the Ministry of Justice as to open data and financial reports. And we are in the Ministry of Finances in the working group on open budget data. So we're trying to influence on processes. But what I want to tell you that all this, it just we are volunteers. And just yesterday I went to a meeting, the day before yesterday, a dialogue on reforms, and it is organized by one embassy, and there were representatives from the Ministry of Digital Transformation. And I told them that we are sick of fighting for open data. We spend We have people, different people, and through the courts, we spent about 80,000 hryvnia just for court cases. And but you know that lawyers, it costs very much to hire lawyers, but also it takes a lot of time. So we could spend all of this to create some services, to create products on the basis of open data, and we could provide a direct assistance to the government to develop some applications, how to work with database, for example, or we could develop some documents, so we could send those efforts, direct those efforts to assistants. So how long should we fight? We have legislation, and there is a ministry on digital transformation. So let's do something, let's change it, because what we do, and so open data is not a priority of the government. Though as Prime Minister told that we should belong to three top countries on open data, but there are no strategic document which would show how to get to that place in the world. So our initiative, we are trying to develop Ukraine in the, and we are trying to use open data because we bring together all known NGOs, initiatives related to open data and also business initiatives. And we would like us not just to fight for the data, but we want the government to publish the data and to do the duty. And we could use that. And we could train people how to use the open data. Thank you very much. You outlined a lot of work. So I have a question. How many of you are just a few people or NGOs, or do you have, would you share responsibilities? As I see, it's one thing to work in on legislation. It's quite different to work with courts. Who are you? How many are you? Are there synergies in your network? We have more than 50 people and a representative from business, and opened the board on the Clarity project companies that provide legal support to business, like farmers business, and because it's and the NGOs, different NGOs, and people participate in our network, not just organizations like ATI Ukraine and from Tom 14 uh, from many organizations. When someone is active on open data, and those are the golden people in our from our network. We're trying to involve them, and they wanted to get involved. And so it's not just we invite not only the civic sector but also the government and the business, and we communicate a lot with the government, like national agency to prevent corruption. We communicate with the customs, not successfully, but we communicate. We would like to get access to the data that we want, and we open. And if somebody says that we developed some technical documentations on IPA on apps, try to help us to communicate on this, or we would like to do something. Please get in. Let's work together. So we communicate with those pioneers who are building the systems and that they provide the best open data, like Prozoro and public finances. So in this cooperation, so we have sectoral approaches, and we would like to be more active on identification of physical entities, entrepreneurs, and so there is they are talking about this for 5 years, and there's a bigger problem with the different registers in the country. Yeah, but the issue of financial reports, and it unites a lot of people, and there's a business association, and so on such synergies, I hope that we'll achieve some results. Yes, we wish you success. And I understand that there is a huge frontal work but you told that we want to do this, we want to do that. I understand you have some plans. Could you outline briefly, like the first three steps from open up, like must be in the policy of open data? Okay. Well, we need reforms in our legislation. We will work on that in the working group and on open data. I run that group, and that's about to identify all the information that they use, and also we need to prepare what is necessary for us to understand what the government is hiding and on which basis and what we should do. And also it's about responsibility and it's about standardization of categorization of users. And if to speak about policies, if to speak about implementations and data collection, so we have some data, which is a priority for us, the data of the state register of physical legal entities. We don't have access there to the full data, though we won a case, court case last year. We have a case against the Ministry of Justice, and we hope that there will be a positive decision. Then land cadastre and the map, so we prepare suit because there is no communication, and especially data on financial reports. And so these are three directions, main three directions, and also data about coronavirus, which is that's a big, huge challenge for Ukraine, and we are losing on this issue in terms of data. And our great goal is to popularize the idea of open data, and we need to explain who needs that, why they need that, and of course, the market of open data we want it to develop, and it should everybody should be able to use that, and everybody who needs and access to open data, to court data. There are some people who are working on that, and I wish them success. Great, thank you very much. I wish success to all your initiatives. And we have a question also from the audience. Do you know something like that? Networks like you in other countries of Eastern Europe, do you communicate with them? And in those countries, do they cooperate with their governments with those networks, like your networks? Networks that unite the government and self-centered business. I don't know about such networks. There are some business associations that communicate with the governments, and we have it in Ukraine. And so I didn't hear. But I was not searching for information about a similar network in other countries. If you know about that, I would be happy to have that information. Thank you very much. And one more question about the policy of open data. As you told that there should be some strategic document, but nobody knows about it. Nobody, and on which state the development is. Maybe your main messages, your main request, how that what that document should have. Ukraine must develop action plan for on open data for up to 2022, because the action plan is that we had it's almost over. I would like to hear the report on implementation, but there are also materials prepared, and we developed our vision on the development of open data by 2021, and those and it was mentioned in the previous government and before previous government. There is a chart on open data, and Ukraine joined that chart in 2016. And we just need the government needs to sit down and identify priority on open data, what we as a government is ready to do, and what we could invest in open data, because open data is about also infrastructure, about the digital transformation. They tell us, and we have the ministry on that. And so digital transformation should be based on openness by default. And all information systems that are built, they should be open by design. So in the development of information that you would access to the data, to personal data. And sort of some basic principles Ukraine signed up, and Ukraine was threatened to comply with the chart. But now there are just general phrases of the government that we would like to be among three the best. And just but show us the action plan, how you are doing, how do you want to do that? We can help you if we share your opinion, and we want that plan to be developed also with our participation. Thank you very much.